Welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Patriot Patch Company and Camerado. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Doing good.
Very resounding, very exciting.
Oh, yay, we're doing all right. Yeah, hello. I finally woke up.
It's freezing cold here, so.
Yeah, it's the middle of winter. There's nothing to be too excited about.
Hey, it's actually above zero right now, so I'm happy. It's supposed to
We
get
had
in
a bowl.
the 40s by Monday. Heat
Only
wave.
39 degrees today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, I woke up this morning, it was -9, so yeah.
It is 3 degrees here currently. Feels like
Minus-
-15.
-11 on my outdoor thermometer, -17 on my truck. So
Alaska Russ, how cold is it up there in Alaska? Depends on where he is.
it's here. He said he was going to try and send me some of his Alaska weather. So,
Did you do anything guns reloading this week, Mike?
I worked at Bass Pro, Cabela's Bass Pro, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but you do that every week, you rascal.
Well, I was out for 2 weeks sick, so the fact that I was back is kind of exciting. So, I talked to somebody about getting involved in reloading.
Good.
And I'm almost out of business cards, so now I got to order some more because I've been passing them out. So,
How about you, Mr. Nelson? Did you do anything gun reloading this week?
Nope, nothing this week. Nothing this week. I need to get back to my shop.
yeah, he's stuck in Illinois right now.
Okay. Alaska Russ says it got down to 30 degrees last night. My God, you must be living in North Carolina. I did a little bit of something with guns reloading. I bought some magnets to help me sort out the wheel weights. In other words, help me pick out the wheel weights that are made out of steel, the mess of the lead, zinc, and iron wheel weights that I bought.
Oh, there you go. That'll help.
Should.
As long as
Did
you
you buy?
dragging it off the clip.
Did you buy one of them big, fishing magnets so you could just pass it over the laid out and pick all them up?
No, I decided I wasn't going to spend $239 on a magnet.
Okay.
I got
spent
one of
$6 to buy. Go ahead.
I got one of those 30-inch ones you use for like picking up nails and stuff off the floor from Harbor Freight. That works pretty good. What I'll do. Huh?
Go ahead.
It was like $10. And what I do is I just throw them on the floor and I kind of, you won't be able to wheel it over them because it doesn't have the clearance to do it, but you can kind of swing it over them. And if it's steel, it'll pick them up. Otherwise, the only problem is if it sometimes it'll pick up the clips because the clips are magnetic that hold them on. So, but then it's just a matter of flipping it over and see if it still sticks. And if it doesn't, then into the one bucket. Yeah, Vanessa, I don't think that magnet would work very well because that will pick up freaking everything. So
she's right. You're right, and that's a good idea. But I bought 6 little neodymium magnets.
now I want to buy one of those to go fishing. See if I can be like that little kid in Florida that picked up the 2 Barretts. So, Nick, did you buy anything new this week?
Just some ammo and a couple 1907 style slings. Guy was selling them at the gun show over the weekend for like $5 a sling. I'm like, I'll take your 2 best ones. So
thank you.
Those
thank
up.
you.
And then there was guys had some original surplus Swedish 6.5 sweet ammo. And he was selling it for under 75 cents a round, and so picked up.
That's not bad at all.
No, and we're playing a video, buddy, and here in KC that also does collects surplus and has a surplus YouTube channel. Him and
Nice.
are planning a video to do it where he has all the Swedish, all the long rifles, the carbines, the short rifles. And then, of course, we both have Youngmans, the semi-auto guns. We're going to do a video where we chronograph them and see what the velocity differences are between all the different patterns. See what that barrel length really determines on your velocities. So just an interesting video.
So my guess is barrel length, you're going to get about 50 feet per second per inch.
Yeah, that was what we were guessing.
That's my guess. So Ray, how about you?
I've got an old Remington Model 10 shotgun. I'm going to turn into a trench gun, and I bought a oak handguard for it that I had to resand the barrel. Not the barrel, but the barrel chamber in the handguard, and got it all fitted now, and getting ready to rivet on some clips to attach it to the barrel, and then I'll cut down the barrel and re-rust blue it. And
we've been working on that project how many years now?
Yeah, I worked on it for about a half hour, and then my mind gets distracted, and I'll go to another project. But I'm getting there.
Hey,
you can't rush perfection, Nick.
No, I know that. I know you can't. It's not about, but you don't find real ones of these.
No, a real one's about 10 grand.
Yeah.
Model 10 trench gun.
Yeah. So we have what in the gun right now? Parts and all.
I've got a little over $100, all the parts.
So,
no, I take that back. I take that back. About 200.
But still, it's a heck of a lot cheaper than spending 10 grand. Yeah.
Well, if you've got extra parts and pieces, save them for me, because I've got there's a Model 10 that some guy has on hold at work, and he hasn't picked it up yet. So I put my name on it. And if he doesn't pick it up, it's like $1.50.
Yeah.
So,
because if you're ever thinking about the trench gun, the only downfall is the company that made the bayonet lug portion is no longer in business.
Yeah, the old gentleman passed away, and
that's the only downfall for that. Handguard can still be made. That's gonna be the hardest part, is getting that.
On how it's made.
Getting that the bayonet attachment.
Who's making footballs today, Jim? Is that you?
It wasn't me.
Must have been Jim or Paul.
It was me.
Jim's watching how to make footballs. That is kind of a cool episode.
That and starting to pack up some of my gun stuff, getting ready for the move. Other than that,
Ray, I think you ought to move in with Nick until your house is ready.
Well, some of my stuff will, but
no,
I
think you actually should.
He's renting my garage, so I'm going to be getting some stuff out of this deal.
Yeah, I'm going to take my Camaro over earlier, and it'll sit in his garage till my garage is done.
Well, if you need anybody to drive it for you, I'll come down to KC and take it out and drive it for you.
Hey, if you want to come down, Mike, we'll go on a nice we'll find a show this summer or something, or this fall or something. Because
I got to make it down to KC because I got to get to the Negro Leagues Museum, and I got to get some barbecue. So,
and you got to do the World War I museum. That's also a cool museum.
And we got to go out to Ben Holiday.
Yeah, Ben Holiday. Get you some good whiskey.
Ooh, there you go. So
I have a question.
What?
Nick, tell me more about this 1907 sling you're talking about. Tell me the style.
So it's just the standard leather slings you would have seen like on the Grands, the 03s, the 1917s.
You see them on Enfields a lot.
The Enfields, the 1 inch, I think it's about a 1 inch wide.
Inch and a half.
It's just their standard leather slings. The guy
with the double hook.
Yep, with a double hook, brass or steel claws. Okay. Guy had them. They're not true. I don't think they're GI or anything. I don't think were made for. But companies are all still today produce them. But they're aged well. They're probably from the 70s, I would say, by the age of the leather. But for $5, I couldn't pass on them.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Mark.
Unfortunately, every single one we seem to get into the store
are repros.
The kids get pissed trying to take them off the gun and just cut them.
Mm.
So are yours marked, Nick?
I looked. I couldn't find any, but I was. You know how that light is at the KCI Center. It's not the greatest light, so I'll look here.
If they're marked and they got brass hooks, they're World War I. If they're Parkerized steel, they're World War II.
Okay, I'll send you some photos after the show, Dad.
And the frogs.
For $5, I wasn't passing on.
No, that's not a bad deal at all. So, yeah, I got to get one for my Mark, my number 4 Mark II.
I put 1907 slings on all my bolt guns.
Yeah, the 07 sling's the best. I think the best sling on the market.
I like the cloth GI slings, but then again, that's because of Appleseed, so I'm actually using it for that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, for decoration,
I started with the
really
cloth
nice
leathers, or the cloth canvas ones for shooting when I shoot CMP matches. But later on, I switched to the 07s because you get that nice leather, and those leather buckles help lock it in tighter.
Yeah. So, all right, Nick, you want to introduce our guest?
Actually, Dad was the one that set this all up, so I'll have him do it.
All right.
Yeah. While Nick and I were at SHOT Show, I think this was on Tuesday or Wednesday, the show, we sat down to lunch and we found a table here, and Stephen was there, and I'm starting to sit down and said, I know this guy from somewhere. Then we got to talking, he introduced himself. Well, I said, I thought that was you, but I didn't recognize you because you didn't have your cowboy hat on. So, we had lunch and got to talk and had a nice talk, and I invited him on the show, and he graciously accepted, and that's where we're at today.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on, Stephen.
You're on.
Welcome to the show. Tell us a little about yourself and how you became so infamous.
Well, I wouldn't say infamous. The infamous it means a bad thing. But,
how you became to be known? Let's put it that way.
Okay, there you go. So I'm just a farm boy. I grew up on the same little piece of property. I grew up on a dairy in Sutherland Springs, Texas, and I'm fourth generation on the same little piece of property. All three of my kids and their spouses all built homes on my property, and now all of my great grandbabies, all 8 of them, are being raised on the same property.
Wow.
Sutherland Springs is a small community of under 600 total population. And it's Mayberry, USA, and I love my little community. And on November 5th, 2017, a crazy man came in to the First Baptist Church and started shooting through the walls and the windows from outside, shooting through the 100-year-old church and murdering people. He moved in through the doors and started shooting people from pew to pew. My daughter made me aware of what was going on. I grabbed an AR-15 out of my safe and I ran across the street barefooted. People say, really, you didn't take time to put shoes on? I say, you're lucky I had pants on, because he was murdering people I cared about. And as I ran out, I yelled, and he heard me in the church. And he came out of the church. He had on Class 3A body armor and a ballistic bulletproof helmet. He started shooting at me. I ran behind a pickup truck and came over the hood, and he in front of me. He shattered the windshield of the car behind me. He hit the house behind me, and I put 6 out of 6 rounds on him. I hit him in the left chest. I hit him in the abdomen. He was moving and shooting at me. And he ran for his vehicle when he got hit those 2 times. And when he turned to his side to get into his vehicle, it was sitting in the middle of the street with the driver's side door open and engine running. When he turned to his side, I put one high in his side between the plates, and I put one high in his legs. He was able to get in the vehicle and slam the door, and he put 2 more rounds through the side window, and I busted one across his forehead, just underneath the rim of the helmet. He accelerated, he turned the corner, and he was fleeing as fast as he could. And by the time I got in the middle of the street, he was about 150 yards away and fleeing. I put one through the back windshield. It shattered the back windshield. And the police say that one went through the driver's side seat and hit him right of the left shoulder blade. And he topped the hill out of sight. And I'm standing in the middle of the street thinking it can't end this way. and I turned and looked off to my left, and there was a pickup truck with a young man on the phone at a stop sign. He had witnessed the whole shootout outside, and I ran over and I tapped on the window and said, that guy just shot up the Baptist church and we need to stop him. Any sane person in this world would have drove on and left me there, but this is Texas we're talking about. We're not known for sanity. So he unlocked the door, and I climbed up in the cab, and we chased the murderer for 11.6 miles. And when he realized he was being chased, he tucked the pistol up underneath the helmet and finished himself off. And I'm okay with it.
Yeah, like most cowards do.
He murdered 26 of my neighbors and friends, and he wounded 20 others.
Well, it would have been a lot worse if you wasn't there, that's for sure.
They said he had multiple loaded magazines and more guns in the vehicle. He dropped his AR-15 in the church when I yelled, and he came out shooting at me with a pistol. And I don't know why he did that, other than I truly believe God called a demon out, and he dropped his rifle in the church and came out shooting at me with a pistol.
Crazy. So prior to that incident, what's your shooting background?
Well, I was a firearms instructor. I used to instruct a youth shooting league. And we trained, and I trained a young lady, and she won 8 junior national championships. And she went on to, when she was 15 and 16, she had made a name for herself well enough that West Point asked her to come train the cadets how to shoot. And if you can imagine a little under 100-pound blonde 15, 16-year-old girl coming up and teaching the cadets how to shoot. And when she turned 17, they got her with Cito Rodriguez, which was her congressman at the time, got him to write her a letter of recommendation. And he did. And she went on to shoot for West Point, where she set women's collegiate national record with a pistol. I used to shoot on a church pistol team. We called ourselves the Centers. And one of our centers was a former Army Ranger and a San Antonio police officer. And he taught me, in between competitions, we would shoot together and run scenarios. And for 3 weeks straight, he taught me what to do if ever confronted with body armor. And why would a plumber need that? I was a plumber by trade, but competitive shooter, instructor, and I actually built my AR-15 myself. I built it to compete with.
So a full size, was it a carbine or was it a?
It's a 16-inch
16.
barrel carbine. Yeah, I used a Wilson chrome line barrel because I wanted it lightweight. I used Spike's Tactical lower receiver. I used Rock River 2-stage varminter trigger in it. I used a lot Magpul front, four stock, a Magpul butt stock, the Magpul flip ups on it. I had Neotech on it, Ergo grip. I just used what I liked on it, and used to compete shooting and moving. And when I built it, it was before all the whole free floating thing. And I used a mid-length foregrip on it because I wanted the extra grip out front. I had a light on it because I hog hunted with it and stuff.
Yeah, so it wasn't in the closet collecting rust, and you said you built it and used it. That's good. That's good. Anybody else got any questions? Do you reload?
I used to a long time ago, but now I just don't seem to have the time.
Yeah.
I used to reload back when you couldn't get Black Hills ammo that was just as good as you can reload too. You know,
Right.
sometimes you can get that Black Hill 77 grain ammo for a 5.56. It just absolutely is. It's better than most people can reload.
Right. It's still tough to get.
Well, I have a source.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Well-deserved source too, from what I've just heard. I remember hearing the story, but I never dreamed I'd actually get to meet the gentleman that did the shooting. Congratulations, Mr. Wilford. You're a hell of a man.
You know, people ask me how I could go do what I did, and my response to that is, how could you not?
Exactly.
I'm fourth generation on the same property in the same little community. And for the last 12 years now, and that was 7 years ago that happened. For the last 12 years, I've ridden motorcycles with that church and delivered toys as Santa Claus all around Wilson County with that church. And I do that every year, even now. And I just shaved the beard not long ago because I am the official Santa Claus. I started growing it about August. By the time December rolls around, it's a full beard, and you know, I put the Santa Claus suit on, ride my Harley, and we go deliver. This year, we delivered toys to 159 children around Wilson County.
Yeah.
And
my wife's from
that's my church. That, or not my church, not the church I go to, but it's my community, and
yeah.
that church is the heart of our community.
Yeah. My wife's from a small town in Nebraska of about 600. So I know exactly what you're talking. You know everybody, you know everybody's kids, grandkids. If you don't go to the same church, you know everybody there, and it's like a big family. So I know exactly where you're coming from.
So my kids went to Awanas at that church. You know,
yeah.
We weren't members of the church, but I sent my kids to Awanas there, and again, it's small community. We just do everything together.
Yep, exactly. So what's been your most recent activity in the GOA? What do they got you doing?
Well, they send me all over, and I speak at state capitals. I do, fighting for our rights. I use my story when I go to speak at a state capitol, and let them know that he had an AR-15, but so did I. And it's not about the tool, but it's about the heart behind the tool. The FBI stats will tell you right quick that more people are beat to death with hammers every year than die with rifles.
Yep.
A hammer in a gifted man's hands can build a beautiful mansion, but in an evil person's hands can commit murder. So an AR-15 is just a tool. It doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't go out there looking for mischief to do or anything else. It just depends on the man's hands that it's in. Law enforcement uses AR-15s all the time to defend people.
Yep.
They aren't an offensive weapon. They're just a gun. I would say they're used more in defense of life every year by far than they are assault weapons, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, honestly, nowadays they're even more commonly used for hunting than anything.
Oh, when I spoke at the Texas Capitol, one of the state representatives was just trying to rip me to pieces. He said, nobody uses an AR-15 to hunt. And I said, excuse me, I do. And he said, is there anything left of the animal when you're done?
Huh.
And it just shows the either willful deceit or the ignorance, one or the other, because 5.56 is barely good enough to hunt with. You have to make a good, deliberate shot with an AR-15 to take an animal.
Here, here.
And you can't really get into this when you. So they brought in all the families from Uvalde to try to push their agenda, and you can't get into this, but Zach Poston at the church was shot 7 times with an AR-15, lived over it. Like Ryland Ward, 5-year-old kid, was shot 5 times, lived over it. David Colbath was shot 8 times, lived over it. By their account, the devastation of that AR-15, there shouldn't have been anything left of any of them, So an AR-15 isn't necessarily the devastation that they think it is. But you can't get into that when you're discussing that in front of grieving people,
Yeah. The AR-15 is nothing more than the Winchester lever action was in the late 1800s. It's just the most popular rifle on the planet right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, it doesn't have a mind of its own. There were a couple of years ago, there was a case in China where 2 brothers took knives and murdered 32 people with knives before they got stopped finally.
Yeah.
They use knives. And like the old saying says, God made the big man, God made a small man, and Samuel Colt made them all equal.
Yeah.
There's, guns are used by far more to stop crime than they are to commit crime. It's just the crimes is what you hear about.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody, any of the audience members got any questions to ask?
How about talk about gun owners of America for a little bit?
Go ahead.
We're out there, we're fighting the pistol brace ban, and we've got red flag laws overturned. We've done so much. We had Prop 114 in Oregon. We were the ones that filed against that and overturned it, and now it's still in litigation. We got in the business of for all GOA members. When the ATF decided that in the business of, if you sold a gun at all, that you had to be an FFL, we filed in the state of Texas up in Amarillo. We filed with the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, and we got a stay for all of GOA members nationwide, and Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, the Fifth Circuit, we got to stay for us too. And, we got that on hold now. And we're hoping now that Donald Trump is in charge and he's told Pam Bondi to go back in and review all of these things and bring it back to him. And anything infringing on the Second Amendment, he's going to overturn. And so this is absolutely what we need to happen. In some case, like the 5th of next month, we were scheduled to go before the Fifth Circuit on the pistol brace ban. Well, now the government has put a hold on that. We are actually hoping that they'll go ahead and let the Fifth Circuit rule on the pistol brace. That way we have a ruling, and then the government flips sides to support us in what we're doing and not to support the lawsuit. But that way there is a ruling already, and we can go forward with that. But the president can save us a lot of money in litigation and stuff by flipping things over. And there's plenty of places that we still, as GOA, need to spend money on, because right now we're pushing for national reciprocity, to be able to carry in all states, all 50 states. And we want the House bill to go through, and we're not as impressed with the Senate bill. We would prefer the House bill, because the House bill says me in Texas. So national reciprocity, the House bill said whatever rule I have in Texas, meaning we have constitutional carry here in Texas, permitless carry. That means that if I visit any one of the other 50 states, then I go by Texas law, not the state law that I visit. So I could carry, without a permit, I could carry a 30-round magazine on my side in the open with whatever ammunition I want to in it. And just for example, New Jersey has a law that says for every hollow point ammo that you have, it's 10 years in prison without parole for each one of them. So if the House bill goes through, I could actually carry in New Jersey with a 30-round magazine on a Glock hanging on my side, with all 31 rounds being hollow point, and there's nothing they could do about it. Or even say California, that has the list of firearms that are approved. You know, the Senate bill says that if I go to California, I have to adhere to the California laws. That means that I can't take my Glock Gen 5 with me to California. I have to find a gun that's approved with a 10-round magazine if I want to visit California. So we want the House bill to go through.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And
I know
now's the time that we have the House and the Senate and the presidency. It is the time to put the foot on the floor and push and get back some of the freedoms that we have lost. And time to safeguard the ones that we still have too.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I'm hoping the Supreme Court can actually clear some of these cases up and end it for good. What we want to hear, it's just, it seems like Trump's last administration, we were kind of idle on some of these gun things and not much, maybe even took a step or so back. Hopefully that won't be the case this time.
Well, the Supreme Court is due to, they've kicked the can down the road a couple of times, and on Friday, they are going to talk about whether they will grant cert for the Snoke versus Brown case, and that's in New Jersey. No, Maryland. I'm sorry, Maryland is Snoke versus Brown, and that's the quote unquote assault weapons ban. And if they grant cert and they hear it, it will be in the fall that they hear it, because they kicked the can down the road that far. They'll hear it in the fall, and they'll make a decision probably by June of next year. Also with that, they have decided that on Friday, they're going to talk about the Ocean State Tactical versus Rhode Island, which is magazine capacity bans. And we want them to hear both of those cases, because both of those could be ground shattering for California, for Maryland, for Illinois, for all of these, and for now Colorado has started to join in on that, wanting assault weapons bans and stuff. And so these cases would overturn all of that.
That'd be good news. That'd be good news.
It would be good news.
Well, I know you guys are doing a bunch of good work there at the GOA, and it definitely showed there at SHOT Show. You go down what we call the basement downstairs where GOA had their booth, always packed. Always had people coming in and out of there talking, yourself and a lot of the other gentlemen that were there and ladies that are promoting the GOA. Always had a good crowd there. Then you would go upstairs where the NRA had their show or their display, and it was a little bit of a ghost town. I mean, there are occasionally a few people going there. So you could tell by the amount of people that are going in and out of your booth, you guys were doing the lion's share of the work for the Second Amendment right now.
We got a really nice visitor that I really appreciated coming by our booth. Apparently the ATF came by our booth with one of our patches that says, "Save a puppy, abolish the ATF." He came up with that patch, and he said respectfully, "Will you not give these patches out anymore?" And we were like, "No, we're going to continue to give that patch out because we believe you guys need to go away." And I've even gone by an ATF booth before, and I asked them, what trauma happened in your childhood that made you want to be an ATF agent, made you want to violate American rights? You know, I mean, I have the highest respect in the world for law enforcement agents, but ATF, there's no need for them. Their whole existence is to violate our rights. Yeah. So I've asked them that before. What trauma did you have in your childhood that made you?
I want to, if you don't mind, Mr. Wolford, forgive me for interrupting you, but I want to put a plug in for exactly what you're talking about for a book called Unintended Consequences. I forget the guy's name who wrote it, but if you could get a copy of it, you'll absolutely love the story about one man with 22 shorts takes on the ATF.
Well, you know, I had a politician come to me one time and he said, you know, I understand not infringing on the Second Amendment. He said, but what kind of problem do you have? He said, why would I not vote for banning body armor? And I said, unintended consequences. I understand. He said, the guy that, you know, was shooting up Sutherland Springs had body armor. He said, why wouldn't it be to our advantage to ban body armor? And I said, I would have loved to have had body armor. I said, but right now, there's some organizations, manufacturers that are making backpacks for children that have body armor in them. Are you for banning that for children? Well, no. I said, well, your body armor ban would do that. And what if you say, okay, I'll make an exception for backpacks, and then a murderer puts a backpack in the front, one in the back, then he's essentially got body armor. I said, it's unintended consequences. You know, that may be something that you might think is good, but you really haven't thought it out, or you wouldn't be asking me this question.
That's right.
Yeah.
When in the United States do we take people that have not done anything wrong and make criminals out of them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
I would love to have body armor the day I ran across the street and confronted that shooter, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So I ran behind a Dodge pickup truck, something about a 6.2 liter V8 Hemi that was really comforting in a moment. I'm not a big Dodge fan, but they do stop bullets really well.
Uh-huh.
That, by the way, the author's name is John Ross of the book Unintended Consequences. I really urge you, everybody listening, and all my friends here on screen, just everybody in the YouTube community, pick up that book if you can. Look it up. It's online somewhere. The Unintended Consequences by John Ross, and it's one of the best books I've ever read against the ATF.
Which, by the way, I have a book, and I'm going to put in a shameless plug. It's A Town Called Sutherland Springs.
Yay.
At Amazon. It made it to the #1 bestseller for Christian biography. A Town Called Sutherland Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And we'll make sure and get that in the show notes. Good deal. At the show, did anybody big drop into the booth to say hi, or anybody you want to mention?
Oh, we had a lot of you guys that do YouTubers, Jarrett from Guns and Gadgets, Brandon from, Brandon Herrera, and the guy from Langley Outdoors. We had celebrities. Ted Nugent has dropped in on us before. We love Uncle Ted. There's nobody out there fighting harder than Ted Nugent. We had a lot of people drop in on our booth, and we were always, glad to talk to them and stuff. It's like,
Ted loves Piers Morgan.
What's that?
Uncle Ted, Ted Nugent. He's younger than I am. I can still go call him Uncle Ted. He loves Piers Morgan.
Yeah, well, he he just puts out the truth, and
yep.
He doesn't make excuses for it,
He's good at proving good at proving what Piers Morgan really is.
Yep.
A big mouth, a bag of hot air.
Yep. So we had him come to the Texas Capitol on our 2A day one time, and they plugged in a guitar and an amp, and he started playing Stranglehold from the stage before he started singing. And I was 2 foot from him while he was playing Stranglehold. I thought, man, that's crazy. So I'm an old man. I'm an old man, and when I was in high school, I used to play Ted Nugent as loud as my car could play it going down the road.
Well, what's to say? Uncle Ted said he's not an old man.
Uh-huh.
Well, who says that Uncle Ted's not an old man? That guitar says he's not. That guitar says loud and clear. He ain't no old man.
He's out there doing it still, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rocking and rolling in his 70s.
All right. Good deal.
I know you and I agree, Dad. When we were walking down those first couple of days of shot, I didn't even know the NRA was there.
Yeah, we had to.
You had to kind of look for it.
Yeah, you had to go look for it. I think we looked it up on the directory where their booth was at, and then went up there.
Yeah.
It's quiet, no doubt about it.
SHOT Show's huge. I walked through the NRA and I said, I'm not going to get struck by lightning here, am I?
Oh, well. You're supposed to be fighting for the same cause.
Yeah. We just fight a little harder.
There you go.
I tell people, I'm a life member of the NRA. I'm life member of NRA. I'm life member of Second Amendment Foundation, TSRA. I'm a life member of several, because I believe in the shotgun approach when it comes to defending our Second Amendment. Though I work for GOA, and I could work for just about any of them. Story. I work for GOA because I believe in no compromise. I tell people we're a 1,500-pound ox pulling the same cart, and the NRA is a 2,500-pound ox, and they're lazily walking beside us while we're pulling the weight of the cart. And right now we're okay with that because the media is popping the whip at the NRA and they don't know what we're doing. And all I ask at this point is that we get a little extra hay in our stall at night because we're doing all the work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with the NRA. I mean, they have a great magazine. You know, they do a lot of training and stuff, and that's not what we're about. We're about totally fighting for your rights to regain the ones that we've lost and keep the ones that we have still. And that's what we're about.
Yeah, I think the NRA, I've been a member of the NRA for years and years and years. What really got them in trouble, the same leadership for too long. And that's with any organization. When one individual runs the whole thing for that long, bad things happen.
Well, I'm just here to talk about the GOA and not the NRA myself, because I think we are doing a bang up job, and we're beginning to, even the left is starting to notice that they created a monster, you know, and we have over 2.5 million members now, and we're growing. And please, if you're listening to this and you're not a member of GOA, you can go to gunowners.org and please sign up, be a part of the fight.
What is a membership to the GOA cost?
$25 a year.
Okay.
That's a couple of cups of coffee at a local gourmet coffee place, and you paid for your GOA membership.
That's half of a pound of powder.
Yeah.
And what you get out of GOA membership, people say, what do I get? We are going to start a quarterly magazine, but that's not what's important. What's important is what you get out of it is you're in the fight now.
And the court cases and all of the beautiful benefits that come from that, plus goals. Have you talked about goals yet? Sorry, I've got a really bad cough, so that's why I've been off screen a lot. So I don't want people to be distracted by that. But have you talked about goals yet?
I have not.
All right. You want to tell us about goals? What is goals and when is it?
Goals is at national convention, and I think it's on the 9th and 10th this August. And goals, we come together and we have people doing speeches there. We have all the manufacturers that, you know, we're actually going to have to move out of Knoxville for 2026 because we've outgrown Knoxville. We have enough manufacturers and stuff that want to be part of goals now that we are expanding, and that's a great thing. You know, we did our first year. We signed a 2-year contract with Knoxville. We did our first year, and now we're outgrown it. You know, we have a range day that it's not open to the public, but for influencers and stuff to go to range day and the manufacturers to show off their new products. And then we have a day that nothing but, you know, influencers and media can come to that day so that they can see what's on the floor. And then the next 2 days, the 9th and 10th, will be opened up for the general public. And if you're a member of GOA, you get in free. And if you're a life member, we actually have VIP rooms that you can go and get something to drink, coffee or whatever, and, you know, some snacks or whatever. And who knows who you might see in the VIP room if you're a life member. All our VIPs, all our influencers, all the media people, they can go into the VIP rooms also. So if you're a life member, you can go into those rooms and actually meet some people and talk to us.
I do have a question. How much is a life membership for the GOA?
Well, if you sign up at an event, so it's a GOA sponsored event, you know, then you get $100 off your life membership. It's normally it's $1,000, but if you sign up at an event, you can sign up for $900, and we'll even break it up into $50 payments for you if that's what you like. So a life membership is normally $1,000, and you can break it up into payments. A annual membership is $20. So, and we have
Thank
Patriot.
you, sir.
I had a guy come up, and he was so happy with GOA and what we did. He first signed up as a life member, and then he signed up as a Patriot member also. And a Patriot member is you automatically donate however much you want per month. And I think he donated $50 a month. And he said, I'll stop the Patriot membership somewhere down the road. But he was so happy with what we were doing, he signed up as a life member and as a Patriot membership too. So he did the $1,000 up front and then signed up $50 a month for then on, until whenever he wanted to stop that.
Well, I know Nick and I plan on going to the goals thing later this year. I've never been to that myself. I mean,
please come to goal.
Yeah, it's like a miniature shot show, and all you got to do is be a member of the GOA, and you can get in.
And we have live entertainment. They haven't come out with who is going to be playing or whatever. Last year we had a comedian, well-known comedian, and we had a band, and I was so busy I didn't get to go to those events, but we had some good entertainment there. Knoxville's beautiful. Knoxville's a great place. Weather's good. Like I say, it's too small for us, and we've got several other venues we're discussing for the future goals. But come out to Knoxville, enjoy Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, I'll second you. Knoxville's just a gorgeous town. Just you're in the foothills of Blue Ridge Mountains, Smoky Mountains. Just there's no place like it. And I look at it, I'm a big history buff, and you're 30, 40 minutes from what is it, Oak Ridge?
Yep.
Yeah, Oak Ridge, where a lot of the atomic bomb stuff was developed. So
that's a fact.
Well, we really enjoyed Range Day and everything else, and looking forward to goals again. Last year was our very first year, and we were concerned with how it was going to come off. Well, it ended up being hit out of the park, and now everybody wants to participate, and so we're moving forward with it. Looking for bigger venues.
Yeah, I think a lot of the big two-way or gun groups, such as GOA, I know a lot of us here go to GunCon, and those type shows are really growing, and each one is looking for bigger and better places to have it. So
yeah,
a lot of people are jumping on the 2A bandwagon, no doubt about it.
Yeah. We've been to GunCon for the last 3 or 4 years too. Really, it's one of the events I love. Now they're saying it's not going to be in Iowa anymore.
Has he officially announced it this year, that it's not going to be in Iowa this year? I haven't heard yet.
I know they put it out there saying that they wanted I wanted him to come to Texas. But
yeah, he's
what's that?
He has not officially announced it's not going to be in Iowa. He hasn't announced. Basically, there is no official announcement at all out there yet, unfortunately.
I contacted him and said, Texas. He said it's too hot. I said, don't be a baby.
I did talk to them a couple weeks ago. They're still working on it, so it's not like they're giving up. So if anybody has any venues out there, get a hold of the Gun Collective. The part of GunCon is it's a two-part thing where it's a media range day, and then it's a kind of a vendor fair type thing for the general public. So that's kind of the thing for that. So kind of like what you guys do with GOA or with goals. So that's going to be the hard part for both.
I'm just going to say, if the Gun Collective's listening to this, you have the Alamo, you have the Riverwalk, San Antonio, Texas. You have the Tower of Americas. You have so much. You're talking about history with Fort Sam Houston there, and the Air Force bases were Military USA. Again, you have Randolph Air Force Base, which is the big Air Force base for the headquarters of the Air Force is at Randolph. And again, the Riverwalk is just absolutely gorgeous. Best Mexican food that you will ever have anywhere is in San Antonio, Texas. And it's worth overriding some of the heat. It does get a little warm, but nothing a shooter can't handle.
No.
No, my dad and I and our family's been down to Texas in the middle of like July. Yeah, if you're used to heat, you can handle it. I look at it. It's a mix of like the Arizona dry heat, but with also your humidity that you're going to get like in the Midwest. We get a lot of humidity, but it's not too bad.
We're close enough to the Gulf. We get the humidity too.
Yep.
Well, I might be down your neck of the woods later this year going, wife and I are talking coming down to Worst Fest down at New Brothel. So
there you go. So that is really close to me, and
that's I knew, not too far from you.
I might have to go on a work road trip and work remote for a couple days.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you come down, I have 200 acres of land. You have my phone number. Give me a call. We'll get you hooked up on a hog hunt.
Okay, I might take me some vacation days now. I got vacation days.
We're trying to get rid of the scourge of the wild hogs. They're tearing everything up down here, and nobody cares about if you shoot there is no season. You can shoot as many as you like. No bag limit. The more the merrier. You shoot them out of a helicopter, shoot them at night, shoot them with a suppressor, shoot them with thermals or whatever. I have a 4570 up on the wall with a ATN thermal on it and a silencer coast suppressor, and that 4570 shooting a 410 grain subsonic bullet, it just mows them over.
That is good hog medicine. Yeah, if you are looking for hog dispatching volunteers, I put my name on that list.
Okay, well, you guys, if you're coming to my neck of the woods, you have my phone number.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah. Would love to sit out on the back porch, maybe smoke a cigar and have a boat.
That sounds like a darn good time.
I'm far enough out San Antonio where I don't get any light pollution.
Nice.
It's just you can look up and you can see the Milky Way from my back.
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
my little slice of heaven.
Congratulations on that. Well, anything else you want to share about GOA before we cut you loose?
Well, again, please come join us and be part of the solution. We have some, they've already let me in on some of the fights that we're going to be taking on in the near future.
There's some big ones coming up.
I can't divulge where we're going with some of it, but I'm excited about it. So yeah, please help us, sign up, be a member, donate money. We are nothing without our membership. You guys are the ones that help us fight it. And I talked to Rob Olson last time when he was slapping around the ATF, and I said, "Man, you are so good at this." I said, "Thank you for what you do." And he says, "It's my job." I said, "But you have to enjoy it to be so good at it." And he said, "I do kind of enjoy that." So we have made our goals to return this country's Second Amendment back to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And people need to understand, just because Trump's in the White House right now, that doesn't mean squat.
Well, that means it's time to actually put the pedal on the floor.
Exactly.
Forward. They're going to be relentless, and they're going to come back at some point too. This country is so fickle that they will be in charge also. And now we need to, while we're in the position we are, is to put safeguards against that eventual day that they come back.
The states are still pushing their stupidity. Colorado is still, even though it's been shot down in committee 3 times already, Colorado is still trying to railroad through a semi-auto firearms ban.
Yep.
Literally,
and
any semi-auto.
And it's the worst of all of them.
Oh, it is. It makes Illinois and California and New York's and New Jersey's gun laws look like pro-Second Amendment.
They also want you to carry a license to be able to even own one.
Uh-huh. Even worse than the void card. So, Nick is a recovered Illinoisan, and Ray is working on escaping Illinoisan. So,
I'm tunneling now.
Yes.
So we have got our lawsuit against the assault weapons ban with Illinois. And we're hoping the Maryland ban takes care of it. But ours, GOA's personal law, our lawsuit is with Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
We're filing amicus briefs and stuff and working on Maryland stuff too. But ours is the one that's there in Illinois. We have Springfield Armory that we're fighting for. And Rock River, they're in Illinois. Those are manufacturers that if everything goes through with Illinois, they're going to have to pull up roots.
Yeah.
Well, Rock River can come here.
Well, I told them come to Texas where they'll be safe.
I'm just north. I'm just north. I'm in Wisconsin, so we get transplants from Illinois all the time. I work part-time at Bass Pro.
Wisconsin's not as safe as Texas is.
No.
And let me ask you, do y'all have a state income tax?
Unfortunately.
Yes.
See, you don't.
Texas does not.
Yeah.
Come to Texas.
I've thought about it, but unfortunately my wife's one of those rare people that doesn't sweat, so the heat's out. Wisconsin's heat's bad enough, so but yeah, I've tried to talk her into going to Texas.
That's one thing Kansas is looking at passing is getting rid of state income tax.
Yeah, well, at some point Texas is going to pull the pin, and you guys are doing it.
The feds are now.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Trump's now looking at it, and it's looking at they're starting to get grumblings of it in Congress.
Yeah,
because it has to go through Congress because they passed it in the first place.
Was it the 13th Amendment?
Something.
I don't remember which amendment that is. That covers all.
Oh, and it's not the 13th because the 13th and the 14th are related to the end of the Civil War and slavery.
There's one of them that's doing with taxes and everything.
Yeah, President Trump wants to create a tariff system where they tax the foreign importers.
Well, that's why.
Yes, we'll go pay more. We'll pay more money. We'll have more money in our pocket from because of the fact we're not paying a damned income tax.
That's the way it was before World War II.
Yep.
And I think the government's gotten so big, it's time to reduce the size of the government so that that can happen again.
16th.
This isn't gun related, but just today I saw an article that said the director of the Social Security Administration has resigned because they found 20 million dead people on the rolls of payment collecting Social Security recipients.
Like
20
7 of them
million.
were over 300 years old.
Oh my God!
There
Yeah,
was
There was a list that
a
was Elon that put
number.
out.
When I first heard the story, I'm like, wait a minute, are we talking about Illinois voting rolls? And somebody said, no, it's Social Security payouts. And I'm like, holy crap. I knew they were doing some sketchy stuff, but come on.
20 million people, 20 million recipients, 1,000, and on average, 1,000 a month. That's $2 billion a month going out for no reason.
The judge that the Democratic attorney generals hauled tried to get the temporary injunction to stop Doge. The federal judge said, no, thanks. I don't think we're going to give you that injunction.
Well, I heard it explained the best the other day. They said it's like a woman that finds her husband's phone and finds out he's been cheating and comes and confronts him with his phone, and all he's focused on is, you violated my privacy by getting in my phone. He's worried about what she did getting into his phone, not about all the cheating that he was doing. And it's the same thing. The Democrats are more worried about the fact that they found the cheating or the bad money spent than they are,
Well, notice there's a few lifetime Republican Congress people that are throwing a fit about it too.
Well, it's Waters said the other day, we don't know what they have on us. I don't think she meant it to say it that way, but yeah.
She has a habit of saying the stuff that's supposed to be inside your head, outside your head, and God bless her for it.
They don't know what they have on us.
We don't even know what they have on us. Yeah, well,
you know what you did, so
you're gonna find out.
Yep. Because he's going to go through the IRS, he's going to go through Treasury, and they are very thorough.
Treasury is the biggie.
Actually, IRS is. When they go through
That's
IRS,
where the money comes in. That's right. That's where the money goes in, but Treasury is where the money comes out.
Yeah, but IRS is where all these Congress critters are figuring out how to hide all of it.
Yep.
That's why you've got all these Congress critters that are making 173 or 100 and $200,000 a year, but somehow they're worth multi-millions of dollars.
And they're not subject to
review
SEC rules.
No.
So in other words, they can do insider trading and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So Lively Outdoors has followed the money and Evertown for gun safety and
Tom Gresham was talking about that Sunday about the millions of dollars that was funneled through USAID to anti-gun groups.
Yeah, and we're not getting any. GOA is not getting any.
Right.
So they're using our own tax money to fight us.
Yeah. And that's the reason why we need to support all GOA and all these organizations that are, heaving the heavy loads into court, because the government's using our money twice to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then we have to come up with our own money to pay, because on a rare occasions do you guys all get paid back your court fees. It's rare, and against the federal government it never happens. It's usually the state and local municipalities that you get money back, but not on the federal level.
We're actually suing the ATF on one of our cases to recoup some of our lawyer bills.
I hope so.
And of course, they're going to fight it. And
of course.
They're not going to give us anything what it's worth, but
no.
We're going to fight that too.
Yep.
And honestly, we don't want government money.
No.
We don't
want it to stop.
We don't want to be beholden to government. We want to be answerable only to our membership.
Mm-hmm.
And GOA listens to our membership.
If if for whatever reason, folks, you don't want to, and I don't really care your reasoning, but if there's a reason out there you've decided you don't want to join another organization, GOA has a bunch of merchandise they sell that helps fund. Otherwise, you can literally just donate. You can donate money on their main page. There is a donate button where you can literally just donate money. You don't have to join anything. You can just give them money. Otherwise, you can go to, you hit their menu and you go to their shop, and you can buy hats and all sorts of other stuff. And it's not all of it says GOA. They've got books and stuff in there they're selling. They're selling the book you mentioned earlier today.
And also our apparel, GOA apparel is made by 9 Line, which supports
veterans causes.
Huh?
Veterans.
Yes, veterans. They're veterans owned and veterans run. 9 Line, good quality stuff. It's not cheap Chinese made shirts or hats or it's good 9 Line stuff.
I love the plushie.
Gentlemen, I got a call tonight.
They have a little.
Good night, Jim.
Good night, Jim. They have a little stuffed dog that says GOA Save a Pup plush. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
but
everybody needs the abolish the ATF patches and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wear them proud.
Yeah, they've got a lot of awesome stuff there. So they've got the town called Sutherland Springs book on there. Go check all this stuff out. Even if, like I said, even if you don't want to join, they've got all sorts of stuff on here that you can buy to help.
Got confrontational politics. That teaches you how to fight the right fight.
Yep. So, yeah, all sorts of awesome stuff on here.
And if you're a member, you actually there's you can go and find discounts for stuff too if you're a member.
Yep. So
that's not why we want you to sign up. We want you to sign up not necessarily for the discounts. We want you to sign up to be in the fight. But if you just,
that's a perk.
That's a perk. Our strategic partners they believe in us well enough that they give discounts out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go find ranges and stuff, shooting ranges that are our Caliber Club members, which they work with us and they help us sign members and stuff. So the Caliber Club members are there also. Find a good place to shoot.
Yep. One of my favorite local gun stores, Top Pack Defense, is one of your Caliber members. So, and the nice thing is if you want to find out how things are going with their court cases, it's all on the main page. You just scroll down a little bit, and it's got all their information. So, it's not hidden anywhere. It's not like if you were trying to find out information on what the 800-pound gorilla was doing with all your money, where you had to dig for it.
Well, some organizations take your donations and buy $10,000 suits. We take your donations and we file suits.
That's right. So,
So some organizations take politicians to dinner. We take them to court.
So, all right, Stephen. Well, thank you very much for all of your time and sharing your story. Thank you for everything you're doing for the Second Amendment. We appreciate you being on the front lines,
Yes.
both literally and figuratively.
Well, thank you guys for the same thing.
Absolutely. We close down every night talking about supporting the Second Amendment. But we also, the reason we talk about reloading is to get more people involved in the hobby. The more people we get involved in reloading, the more people we get involved in shooting, the more people we have to bring to the fight. And that's what we need. So, we've definitely, over the last 30, 40 years, we've had a huge decline because of society. And it's now swinging back the other direction, thank God. But we've still got a big, huge, hill to climb. And right now, we've got all the tools we need. We've got to make hay while we can. So, like you were saying, we've got to fight the fight while we can. Get Congress to, this is where we need to be on the horn to Congress. There's a couple of bills that have been introduced, like you were talking about, national reciprocity. They brought the Hearing Protection Act back. I think they're calling it SHUSH.
Shush. Yes.
That takes suppressors and makes them easier to get, which is honestly a hearing. It's called the Hearing Protection Act because it is a safety issue, kids. So, it's a lot of those things, and this is, GOA doesn't just spend their time in court. So, don't think that that's all they do is just haul people into court. They do have other functions and stuff too. So, and goals was kind of one of their big, they've got all these little things that they do, but goals was kind of the big thing that they stepped out and said, hey, here, come see this cool thing. So once again, Stephen, thank you very much. And we're going to let you go. We appreciate
some wise words.
Yes.
So Ronald Reagan said it best himself. He said, freedom is no more than one generation away from extinction. It wasn't passed down through the bloodline, but it must be fought for and protected and passed down for the next generation to do the same. He said, I never want to spend my twilight years telling my grandchildren what it was like being raised in a free nation. Now, I would add to this because we have an obligation to fight for it and to protect it and hand it down to the next generation.
Absolutely.
But if we fail to teach the next generation how to fight for it themselves, then we have still failed.
Correct.
We need to start reaching out to young people and teaching them how to fight and to know what to fight for, to understand the freedoms that they enjoy and equip them with the right tools to be able to fight the fight when we're gone.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for being on. And I know us, the go-to goals, will probably reach out and give you a shout out and look for you while we're there.
When you're at Worst Fest, give me a call.
I will.
All right. Thank you much. We appreciate you.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir. God bless.
All right. Good interview.
Awesome. Very awesome.
I gotta look and.
So, yeah. So, do we have a guest next week?
We do.
Who do we got next week?
We have Joel Hodgson from RCBS.
Awesome. I thought that was next week. So,
yep.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm excited for that one. Now, are you going to be here or is it next week you're not?
No, it was supposed to be tonight. But with the weather, how cold it is, and the snow we're getting, they canceled our meeting. So
awesome.
Yep. I was
Yeah,
glad I was
I'm
able to
glad. I'm
come in
glad you were
tonight.
here because I was useless for the first half of this freaking thing. Yeah, So I had basically Thursday it'll be 2 weeks. I had influenza A. No, I didn't get the shot. For everybody who asks, everybody, no, did you get the vaccine? No, I didn't get the influenza vaccine. I've never gotten the influenza vaccine in my life. This is the first time I've ever freaking gotten it. I'm 50. Will I get it? Probably not. Anyway, but I had the fever and the aches. I didn't have anything else, which typically is all you get with the influenza. My wife's family had norovirus, which sucks to be them. Norovirus, kids, is where it's coming out both ends at the fucking same time. My niece was on the crapper with a garbage can in her hand, praying for Jesus to come take her. I felt bad for her. So my only lingering is I'm back to normal. For the first few days, that Monday and Tuesday after, Monday I was really dizzy yet. Tuesday I was still a little bit dizzy. Right now, the only thing I've got is just a really violent cough to the point where I get like you're drunk dizzy. Like really disoriented, and if I'm not sitting, it's really weird. Yesterday during lunch, I coughed so bad they thought I was choking on something because I literally was out of it. I scared the guys at work, but I mean, I'm doing this for like a week now, week and a half. So I mean, it's not, I sit for a couple seconds, and sometimes it's really bad, and it takes me like 30 seconds to come back, and it's really weird because you really don't have a freaking clue what's going on around you. I mean, it's just you're out of it completely. So, but I did see the doctor, and the doctor says, yeah, it's kind of one of those things that with this cough, it's all right, Russ, you're back to normal for me. All right, shut up, smart ass. Russ said back to normal since many of us are normal. Well, yeah. Anyway, so. But so that's why I was kind of off camera and definitely muted for most of the show, is because I just start coughing and coughing and coughing and cannot stop. So they gave me the frickin' Pearl things, and it kind of helps a little bit, but not much. So anyway, I digress. So at some point in time, we will get back to neck turning, but we've got some guests. Finally, after a shot show, we've got some freaking guests lined up. So kudos to Ray and Nick for getting that done. It's something I've never had really good luck with. I don't know. Maybe it's just people look at me and go, God, I don't want to be on that ugly fucker's show. I don't know what the hell, but so.
There is another one I'm going to reach out to, gentleman from Hornady. So I'm going to reach out to him. I've been busy with work. I'm going to grab the business card. And well, they had other shows. I think there was the Western Hunting Show.
There's a couple of
last week. Joel
there's
was
a
saying
few
he was out
shows.
that.
Yeah, I really would love to
I'm on the email with Joel.
So
yeah, no, I've been emailing Joel what feels like forever. It feels like
I got to get a hold of Aaron from
back
Hodgson and get him back on too. So
running
with scissors
the guy from Hornady, and
I'm all green except the lantern. Don't do DC Comics. DC Comics, take it or leave it. I'm all green except John Deere tractors. And that's what my cough looks like. So
I was trying to find the email I got the other day. Somebody had a bunch of powder on sale cheap, like $38 a pound. I deleted it.
Powder Valley. You got was it full? Well, okay, let me jump.
Russell, get your ass down here and get your precious Gracie. I'm tired of her frickin' mouth. Was it Powder Valley?
That's why I'm jumping over to see if they have it on sale. They
Graphs.
got Accurate on sale, 1680 on sale, 2460, 2520. Accurate number 5's on sale. They got a line on sale, which is kind of shocking. 10X. It's on sale.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's do a GoFundMe for a sailing around the world contest. Except for what we're going to do is we're going to stop off in Australia, pick up a shit ton of powder, sail it back.
Yeah.
You know the size of boat we'd have to have for that.
Yeah,
I got a good one for you. I had on one of the forums that I watch in Indiana. There was a person that said, I can't find RL15, and I called Hodgson. He says he called Hodgson up and asked if RL15.5 would work. And people were responding to him that they didn't think that RL15.5 would work because they can't find any data for it. Okay.
Jeez.
Do we want to reload? Yes, we do. But everybody thinks that Hodgson owns all the powder companies now.
They don't.
So
Yeah.
Well, that's like I tell people I've started to get into it is GRT or Gordon's reloading tool. I've started using that more because nice thing about that is you can do that. You can put your velocity in, you can put your bullet, your cartridge, all that, and then you can start just going down by powder and just really play with it and find where you want to be, and you're not going to be over that max pressure. GRT turned into my friend almost on some of these cartridges.
Yeah.
Especially the older ones because they go way more into it than
Absolutely.
quick load. Yeah.
Especially pressures. Pressure the big
yeah.
And it's absolutely free. That's the best thing about GRT. 100% free.
So here's the question I was talking about with a customer yesterday. Is he was talking about trying to convert cup to PSI, trying to figure out a max load on a powder for a 45 110 load, and I'm like, no, stop, don't do that.
Yeah. There is really no conversion.
No, there isn't. And I said
there are a couple of formulas that give you close, but not perfect. And cup is way too old. Now you get into GRT and you can put in the pressures that the cartridge should be in PSI, and so you can just work it that way, which is what Nick does.
Yeah. So I gave him my card and told him to email me, and I said I'll get him some information because he's looking to get some 45 110 brass and get some load data. I looked up Nick, the book we've got with the yellow cover on how to make brass out of other stuff.
This one? The Bible?
Yeah. It doesn't have 45 110.
What? Seriously?
Seriously, it's got 3 different 45 100s and a 45 120, but no 45 110.
You are not wrong.
So I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
So Running with Scissors said I'm noticing an abundance of primers flooding the market too. Yeah, starting to see a lot of different companies with primers. There hasn't been an official confirmation, but supposedly 2 of the 3 primer companies that they were talking about at the beginning of way back in 2022, supposedly 2 of those 3 are actually up in full production now, and selling to the retail market. So, but like I said, there's no press releases or anything like that. I don't know what brands they're selling them on, but I've heard that, yeah, there's 2 of the 3 are actually up in full production. So that's one of the reasons we haven't seen it start dropping yet, partially because you're not going to ever see it go back all the way down, but also because the components are still friggin' expensive. Because that stuff's all coming in from overseas, and it costs a crap ton to ship that stuff.
Yeah, we'll never see the $30 1,000 primers again.
If I could get back to 45 or 50 a thousand, I'd be happy. Honestly,
that's what I'm thinking. If we can get 55, even 60 at the max for like your match primers.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get back into 45, 50 for 1,000 primers, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and nice thing about GRT, it's more than just for actually figuring out your powder charge. You can do your shot groups. You can do like, I'm looking on their website now. You can do like cartridge designer and like to design it to have it fit your chamber of your rifle. There's so much more on there than just doing reloading data. So
I can't remember.
And they're always I have it on my laptop. I thought I had it on my main computer here, and I'm trying to get it. If not, I know I have the files, but it is a pain in the butt to kind of get downloaded and running at first. And I'm wondering if I accidentally deleted that file that I didn't need to delete. So I might just delete everything and reinstall it.
Yeah, you have to drag the one file onto your desktop so you can run it from your desktop.
I'm wondering. I do see a folder here that says GRT. I wonder if it's in there.
It's in there.
There it is. Yep, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, now you got to drag that one file to your desktop and then you can run it.
Yep.
But GRT runs on Windows, Linux. I believe it even runs on Apple, if I remember right.
Not.
Does not. Okay.
No, it won't run Apple.
Won't run Apple. But,
I don't think quick loads will either, for that matter.
No, quick loads will not, and quick loads won't run on Linux either. So
interesting. I didn't realize that. I don't know. I've got it on Windows. I've got it on my. I've got brain fart. I've got it on my Surface tablet. So.
But yeah, GRT is very handy, especially dealing with wildcats and
just start playing with this stuff more.
People wanting to stretch loads a little bit beyond the capabilities.
Yeah, and you're not always going to find, like, for instance, I'm looking for a specific bullet weight, stuff like that. You're not going to find the exact one a lot of times, but you can always find something super close that's going to get you what you need.
Well, they don't have the 80 grain ELD VT bullet in there. So I measured up the bullets and compared it to their ELD 105, same bullet length, everything else, same location of the ogive, so I can take that bullet and reduce the weight of it and run it that way. So you can actually,
I think you can modify like all your like diameters, your lengths,
right.
Bullet weights. I think you can, if I remember right, you can modify it. And so it's like you're basically making, but the bullet you are using, you're just using something close to a spec from, say, PPU. So
Nick, do you run compact or expert mode?
Expert.
I don't remember. I probably run expert.
Yeah.
I tell people, if you're playing with it, start with the basic version and then go into expert. There's a little bit of a learning curve when you jump over, but it's a good place to start, and then you can work your way over.
There's also a case designer in there where you can design the case. So if it's not one that's listed, you can build the case up with a micrometer and some tools so you can actually build a wildcat if you
Nice.
wanted.
Yep.
You can assign it the pressures of whatever you decide and work from there.
If I'm not mistaken, the gentleman that created it died a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, like 2022.
Yes.
But people are still always updating, adding all the new powders, the new bullets. A lot of times
They're not doing that anymore.
Oh, they're
No.
not. They stopped it.
No.
Okay, they must have stopped.
Right.
Okay.
They stopped it, but you can add the powders in yourself.
Yep.
Okay. And you can do it, and that's and if you list it in their form, you can they
So
can look at it.
This is the program.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's some stuff on here that's locked, like bullet resistance and bullet jump, and it gives you a warning on if the pressures are close to max. So,
right, and you can go down into the fourth screen down, and you can change the powder, and you can change all the weight of the powder and everything else. So you can do all that.
Case length and
Yep.
your projectile. Here's your powder option that Paul was talking about.
And you'll look down, you'll see how many different weights of powder you want to go, at what increment, and how many grains or grams. You can change all that. Here's your bullet up is just above it, and you can.
I want to see what it says for tight group for 64 for 6.5 Creedmoor.
It says that tight group, blah blah blah, 41 grains, case on maximum pressure of it's in bar, which is 140.
It says overpressure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I just blew up my gun.
Yep.
Oops.
Because the allowable pressure is 4350 and you're at 140.98. So you're a little over. You're 10,000 bar over.
Yep.
So yeah. But you can change that. You can change bar to PSI if you click the little ruler over there next to the
it's
bar.
got like Lovex and Shooter's World. Winchester.
Yep.
I don't, and it's IMR. So here's IMR 4064. It doesn't change your powder charge every time you.
No, you have to change the powder charge.
Yep. So.
And the little rulers that you see along the side there, they are for changing the scale. So in other words, instead of bar, you can change it to PSI.
Here I went from temperature, I went from Celsius to Fahrenheit.
Right.
Bulk density, I went to foot pounds instead of kilogram meters. It does have your basic instructions here. It's got your definite measurements and stuff, results here. So this is another overcharge.
Yeah, but it's a closer one because you're just over the 4350.
Yeah. So I changed it to 27 grains, just because.
Yep.
So. And here it lists your joules and your meters per second, instead of, and you can change your different information you're getting.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff to this program. You just gotta spend some time learning.
Yes.
So, like running with scissors said, it's been a couple of years since an update. Yeah, because the person passed away. So, it still works just fine. There's no, but I mean, if I remember correctly, I think load data, or not load data, but quick loads has a case of history of not having a lot of updates either. So,
Well,
I don't know if Hodgson did you'd have to check the Hodgson website. So, but let's wrap this puppy up. So, I want to talk about Patriot Patch Company, their continued support. So, when you're a Patch of the Month Club member, you get a sticker and the patch. This is what the patch looks like. So, my sights are set on you. Valentine's set a theme. You also get Ryan's rough drawing. You can go to firearmsradio.net/category/podcast/reloading-2, and you can click on support this show to become a Patch of the Month Club member. You can also, while you're on that page, click buy our merch, and it will take you over to Southern Gals Crafts, which I haven't showed their stuff off in a while, so we will show them off. So you can kind of see. So here's the Reloading Podcast Anatomy of a Pew. So you've got your bang button, metal holdy thing, magical fire dust, freedom seed. Comes in gray, white, olive, military green, anything from small to 5X. Also comes in a hoodie. Down here, we've got the tumblers, three different options. Personally, I like the American flag one. That's the sharpest one. Can koozies. Like I said, we've got that anatomy of a hue. If you just want the podcast logo, sorry, damn it. You can do that, just plain t-shirt there. We've also got the messaging with the ATF ones, t-shirts and sweatshirts. So defund the ATF, and ATF 1-star would not fond of, would not recommend. So you can get those all there. And then we've got Camerado. So all of Sean's awesome stuff here. You got the original 5, and then you've got the added colors. And then you've also got the collabs with Gun Collective and Clover Tack. I'm not going to show everybody all these right now. They've got gift cards if you want to give a gift. All different sizes for everybody. So use coupon code RELOAD at checkout to save 5% at camerado.com. We're not running any coupons right now for the Reloading Podcast merchandise right now. We do run some from time to time. We did have a holiday one. So I usually post that in the, excuse me, that usually gets posted in the Discord and other various social media sites. Pine needle tea. Interesting. Okay, I'll look into that. I'm actually going to use my my whiskey, honey, and lemon. That works really well as a cough suppressant. So,
Odor. This Gordon's tool, you measure the volume of the case too with H2O and put that in. So it does make a big difference in the load data. So
yeah, you can do H2O. You can do millimeters. What is that? 3 is the cubed.
right.
That's 3. The little 3.
Yes, cubed.
I thought it was cubed. And then
Yeah.
centimeters cubed, inches cubed, and then back to grain H2O. So there's different things you can do for case volume.
all right, gang. On that note, keep your brass shiny.
Jump on the mill short bus.
Teach them to shoot and reload when they're young.
Grandpa told me, don't listen to your mama. Violence does solve problems.
Make sure you're supporting the Second Amendment, local, state, national organizations. Make sure you're calling your elected representatives, especially now. Start calling Congress. Tell them we want that national reciprocity, the House bill, and we want the Shush Act passed. And we want, the corruption cleaned up. So make sure that you're being nice about it when you do it. So
Yeah,
also,
the extra 20 million checks they send out every month to me.
yeah,
Okay.
yep, some of that money.
Yeah.
So I could use some more storage in here.
Yeah.
Some better storage. So anyway, thanks for all the well wishes. If you're struggling, 988 or 1-800-273-8255. If you're looking just for some extra help, but you're not really struggling, check out Walk the Talk America. If you don't want to join Gun Owners of America, there's plenty of other good organizations out there. But definitely throw a few bucks at Gun Owners of America because they are doing a Herculean effort, just like a lot of the other ones. So thanks, everybody. We appreciate all the support you give us, and have a good night.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Night, y'all.